But when you see the events and when you see what happened at the end of the game, I resonated a lot with what the Ohio State players were going through. Again, you're speaking to someone that played at a school named Good Counsel High School. We lost 3 years in a row to our arch rivals, the Mather High School, and they didn't even give it a second. I mean, it was through the handshake. You had the Mather players, you had their parents just sticking it up our ass. I mean, twisting the knife and twisting the knife and twisting the knife. I'll never forget, the handshakes and how they were smiling at us like, what now? There was a lot of that. And it just give the people some space. Give the people some space when you get your victories. And because of that, the person who's trying to get the Michigan flag back wasn't a player. It looked like it was just a member of the support staff or whatever. And then that person gets in danger because now you got top world-class athletes in Ohio State. He's in the middle of all this red about to get his ass whooped because he has this Michigan flag. And, they're just hopped off of a loss. And I felt horrible for the guys. The sad part is it wasn't even just the player that pushed him. There was somebody else who came in from Ohio State and pushes the guy. He doesn't have any pads on or anything like that. So it's important that we outlaw that. Let me just show you the clip of Jack Sawyer, and then we'll get into more reaction of the rivalry. But this is how angry he was. And for good reason. Because again, I've been there. I've lost to my rivals for 3 years in a row when I was in high school. It is a shitty feeling. All right. And this actually started. I remember the first time I actually saw it in college football was with Baker Mayfield. All right. And if you recall that year, Baker Mayfield, they planted the flag. Ironically, it was against Ohio State. And this is when Baker Mayfield was at Oklahoma. And he did that. He planted the flag. And I was just like Kirk Herbstreit, and I believe, I can't even remember the guy Kirk Herbstreit calls the games with at the moment. I think it's Brand. Humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that even in a victory, an emotional victory like that, you as coaches, the adults got to step in, the NCAA got to step in, the conferences got to step in and say, hey, kick their ass on the field, go in the locker room, celebrate your ass off and enjoy it. Go on social media, talk all your shit on social media, go on rants. But the flag planting thing, just cut the flag planting thing out. All right. So that's my take on it. So when it became a rivalry, when we started playing in the same conference, this was how it was received. This was I want to say it was like the first time that it became Penn State versus the University of Maryland as Big Ten rivals. This was the scene before the game. And I pulled it up just so you guys see how much hatred, where this dust up between James Franklin and Coach Loxley, where it kind of started when it comes to the schools that they represent.
Familiarity does breed a little contempt. There are a lot of PA guys in white uniforms today and a lot of Maryland guys in blue today, Joey, and they exchanged some pleasantries pregame. And no handshake for the coin toss from Maryland before the game today. It is on. Familiarity does breed.
Yeah. So what happened, again, because like she said, then you saw it was 10 years ago.